more and more I'm posting videos that people post out there. So I'm sorry if you're posting it out there, I'm watching you. Stop messing with the babies. I just don't get it. And what's worse is that people keep seeing these things and they think that this is typical or what should be done. So one of them was that I don't know, they're working on all these kind of face expressions. I get it that you want some form of response to your baby. Like, I don't know, like a lightning bolt that comes down and says, this baby's okay. But in the video, and this is where too, I think I really do have to teach a course on movement. I think it's really important. I see things that people just don't see. Scott and I were talking about it all through Scotland. We did a live on that. And people need to learn how to see movement. So obviously, I don't keep a live baby in the closet that I can turn around and do things with. But first of all, it's the grip I don't like. Lots of times in a hospital setting, people, again, they're not taught the water bowl technique. You can't just take a baby and there's been comments about like where does brachial plexus happen from. It doesn't take much on a newborn nervous system because so in the fetal development stage, your baby is expanding in all directions. That's the whole purpose of the womb. There should be a frictionless environment and your baby's expanding in all directions. So the brain expands in all directions. Every bone expands in all directions. The heart. And that makes a lot of sense, right? So now you're going through the process of delivery. The main thing is that first of all, you get the loss of amniotic fluid. So still, your baby is now getting your first movements into them, which include the active and passive muscles. There's active muscles for contractions, and there's passive muscles for your child to get into position. So again, if your child's coming sunny side up, or these kind of things coming in, or cord wrapped around the neck, you're starting to already see the compromise on the way that your child was meant to be born. And now your child is being born. They're going through the vaginal delivery, and the rotational response. This is the first rotation your child's going to receive. They cannot rotate in opposition to gravity in the womb, right? That's the whole point. And if you don't understand that, that's why I did the whole book on You Can't Get to Mars Without Me, comparing astronauts to baby. Because the astronauts, right, cannot have rotational responses. They are expanding in all directions, and this is why their DNA rips in outer space, right? Because of the lack of rotation, and they're expanding in all directions in a weightless environment. It's bringing them back into fetal movements, and we don't want that, right? This is where we're coming into a problem. So when a child's slipping into delivery and they're going into that phase and they're coming out, the first thing is that all the cranial bones are meant to articulate as they come out as well. Almost like taking a cold balloon into a hot air, you get that whoosh, right? And now this is what brings the spinal fluid into connections, the spinal columns, all the skeletal bones not only articulate for the first time, because again, in amniotic fluid, they're kind of like if you're floating in the water. It's not even a float in the water, you're under the water, so you get that kind of, it's like Avatar, right? And now you're coming into that, and you're also being exposed to gravity. So that first breath, that circulatory system, that first eating, all of this is done in opposition to gravity. There's no intake or elimination in the womb environment. So now you have a medical professional, and they just want facial movements for God knows whatever reason. I mean, at least go in there and lightly, excite water bowl technique, and go in there and excite a little bit of a suck reflex, right? Or a little bit of where the brow can cross a little bit of a midline. It doesn't take much to entice proper functional movements in a brand new baby. But to sit there and go like this, first of all, they're holding the head, right? And Kay was just in my training right now. And let me tell you what a grip like this does to functional movement versus the grip that I do with rotation, right? So you're gripping the head, and now you're sitting there like, what do you think the baby's going to learn how to suck by you sitting there and pursing their lips? Like, it just doesn't happen like that. That's not a functional movement. So by having that grip there, you can get torticollis from a baby like that, especially if they already had a C-section. I'm talking, what I just explained to you was a full-term, beautiful, natural delivery. Let me tell you, we're messing up births left and right. We're in the 21st century. We don't know how to give birth to a baby. Nobody talks to me. They need to listen. And now on top of that, without doing a proper evaluation, they're grabbing the baby and they're sitting there doing this and all that. What? For what reason? What are you doing to this baby? I can easily damage an ocular muscle. I can block a tear duct. I can do so many little things that you're going to have a lazy eye or things like that. And then, yes, I say you have sensory issues. All 5 topical senses are sensory issues. So do I not want to open my mouth anymore because someone's done something to the vagus nerve by doing that? Again, what you didn't evaluate the baby and now you're messing with them. They need to eat. They need to be with their mother. They need chest time. They need to learn how to deal with gravity. I mean, just giving a baby to the mother, letting them lie on the chest, allowing the first, moments of nursing or that kind of thing, even just to play with breast tissue, and then go into the whole medical stuff. But to sit there with rubber gloves and you're just like that and you're doing all this, and then you're posting it up on social media like, oh, look, I got this kid to make a face. Come on, guys, stop messing with the babies. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep soapboxing once in a while, but we need to learn from this and say, stop doing it, instead of saying, oh, look at the cute baby. I get it. Babies make some funny faces, but we want some optimal development, and that's what's most important for our kids. Thanks.